This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 240 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your host, back from attempting to raise the dead, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is Draco Lich Alex Aeruta.
That's dumb. Why are you calling me an ice cream? I refuse to be your Choco Taco. I am my own Choco Taco. Or, I also like Rocky Road.
I don't know if you can call yourself a Choco Taco.
Did they discontinue Choco Tacos?
They brought them back.
Oh, okay.
Because I went hunting when they went
Yeah.
under, or when they disappeared. I definitely went and did I bought
stockpiled Choco Taco?
Yeah, I bought like 10 of them, 10 to 20 of them, and then all of a sudden they came back. They came back like a year later.
I see Choco Taco has been highlighted. Well, Alex, once again, you're out of control. But we're on an ice cream kick, so I'm going to toss it over to Bomb Pop of the podcast, Joel DeWitte.
You can't say bomb on the internet, Daddy. They put you on lists for that stuff.
I can't say it on the internet. I can't say it on a plane. This is getting ridiculous.
Nope. That's called an oopsie whoopsie. We call those oopsie whoopsies in my business.
But the internet's such a big place.
It's a friendly place, too. Everybody should come join us.
In order
Now
to get in trouble, they'd have to listen to us, which means we'd have listeners.
You're all crazy.
That's
Everybody's crazy tonight.
That's the dream.
Is it the dream?
The dream is technically to get canceled.
Yes.
Yeah,
Technically. The dream is technically to get canceled.
Rather nobody listen to this and we just enjoy ourselves for 1 hour a week, but whatever. Last man to introduce. Let me give you the human push pop of the podcast, Alec Parks.
Now that's what I call a sticky situation. Eggplant, peach.
No. Boo.
Yes.
Boo this
Yes.
man.
No. So good. Oh, I could see the emojis in my mind as he said them.
There we go. That's what I strive for. It's that visual imagery of a medium that has no images.
I'm calling HR.
Yeah, Alex, can I just give you a reminder? This is a spoken word podcast. You can't hold up stuff and do funny faces, and people can't see that.
I think this is good friend of the podcast, Nate. His mother is trying to friend me on Facebook. I should pay attention to the podcast.
We should podcast and not...
Shout out to Nate's mom.
Shout out to Nate's mom.
You gonna text him later, right?
I'm going to text him later.
Okay. It's a real weird one.
Yep.
I don't know. We could all get in a lot of trouble for this. All right.
If it makes you feel worse, my friends and I always do a lot of your mom jokes, and then sometimes I will just tag my mom. I'll tag my mom in on those, and a lot of my friends have gotten mad at me for that. But also, me and my brother make your mom jokes left and right, and that's another thing.
But that is your mom.
Yep.
All right.
We're all having a good time here.
Hit me with your
If you
scarred
say
mom
so.
joke.
Oh, I don't want to do that. Again, if we really want to get canceled, we can get canceled.
Don't you want to live the dream?
Isn't Alex is going to end up on punishment if he does that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The string of obscenities, yeah. No.
So many moms, so little time.
Don't like that.
At least, you know,
Anywho.
they've had sex once, at least.
Anywho.
Immaculate conception.
Getty, you really got to rein this in, man.
Nope. It's too late now.
It's off the rails.
Can we get into like a creationism versus theology debate or something? Let's get real weird with it.
Yeah, this is podcast in a pivot.
All right. Video game podcast. This week, we are going to talk about video games. And we're going to dive right into early adopters. We can't afford to lose any time. It's at some point here. No, we already lost too much time. You know what? Let's just scratch this whole episode.
I don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah, I don't either.
Speaking of not understanding what's going on,
we're going to grab some guitars and jam out with the news, and then finally reach a good ending in Baldurs Gate 3, because that's a thing that I did.
Nice.
Alex wasn't there. He can never be there. All right. Early adopters. This is a segment on our podcast where we talk about alphas, betas, and games that have over 100 gigabytes. Yeah. So you the listener, don't have to download and delete all of the whatever you have on your computer. No judgments here. First question.
We are a data tap friendly podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Alec, not friendly to us.
Did you have enough space to play with my good friend Harold Halibut?
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of space. I've still got 1.5 terabytes on my drive.
All right.
Are you still running disk? Are you still running?
No, it's a M2 drive.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
All right. So he had the space. You know what that means?
He didn't play it.
What? Did you? All right, we're going to jump into Harold Halibut. Alec, did you play?
I did not. It was the one I didn't get to.
What? You played the one that wasn't in English, but you did not play Harold Halibut.
Yep.
All right, so let me paint a word picture for you. It was, I think, Monday, maybe Sunday. I went over to my computer, opened the Word document for the podcast, and was like, all right, I better download these games so I can talk about them this week. Little did I know that I was going to hit install on Harold Halibut, and it was going to be like, hey, this is about 60 gigabytes. Is that okay? And I was like, what? And there's a good reason why it was 60 gigabytes.
Man, those assets.
They are gorgeous. This game is, it's one of those nice puzzler games. You got your character.
It's an adventure game, yeah.
He, with light puzzle elements. Action adventure. Mm-hmm. Harold, who is wonderfully crafted out of clay. And all of the other characters lovingly created in this same art style. And the attention to detail is outstanding. The story itself is kind of quirky. It feels like it could be a little bit predictable, but still a lot of fun. So Harold, he's just your regular everyday repairman, and he works in
for
this...
scientist.
Is he a scientist?
He
works for a scientist.
For a scientist.
Yeah, the whole story starts out with him basically being in trouble for using the wrong color ticket to try to travel somewhere.
Arrested.
Yeah, he is victim to relentless government bureaucracy.
Hold on. How did you guys feel about the police officer just walking into his room like, Harold, you're under arrest? And then poor Harold's like, but I had the blue ticket. And he's like, no, you don't understand. They switched over to the teal ticket, and you had to have the extra yellow or green ticket in order to access the lifts during this time. Like,
nah, man, that cop was whack. Later on, you see him he's harassing a child, and it's very funny. He's like. And Harold's like trying to defend the kid from this police officer, and the police officer goes, "Oh, now you're involved in this? You're probably the reason he's in trouble. You know what? I'm gonna take you." And he goes, "What evidence do you have?" And he goes, "The kid's testimony. Right, kid? You'll testify that Harold's a bad guy." And then he goes, "Only if Harold testifies." And he goes, "Harold, are you gonna testify you're a bad guy?" And he's like, "No." And then the police officer goes,
this case is falling apart real fast.
Just
Dialogue.
a quick
Dialogue
message
is so
to the
good.
heralds out there. If that happens to you, first thing you should be saying is, do you have a search warrant? Just
Get a
thought.
warrant.
Get underwater submarine search warrant.
Yeah, the setting is this, as it becomes apparent through the story, a crashed spaceship that is underwater. And you can travel to different parts of the ship through water tubes. And that's the real reason why Harold got in trouble in the first place. But the ability, I'd really wish that they had shown more of traveling through the tube. Because all of it's in this great art style, you see your character step into the tube and then just like water splashes on you and then you fall through the ground. I wish there were a little bit more of like getting to see what that journey is like, mostly because tube travel has always been kind of a terrifying idea to me. I don't know about you guys.
You gotta bend around it, and also you know that those tubes are like, you can't have exposed skin. It's gonna rub that away so easily.
I mean, that's what the water's for, right?
That's an unclean tube.
I'm thinking it's going to be exactly like Mario movie, where you just hit stuff and skirt along the side.
I see. For me, it's more like you ever been in a water slide that just did not have enough water. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's how I imagine it. It feels real.
I can feel the friction just hearing that sentence. It's awful.
Yeah.
How about puzzles, guys? What'd you think about the puzzles for Harold?
I thought they were horribly obtuse and really just like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. But I definitely like figured them out. Like the first thing they give Harold the like a task list, and they're like, "All right, go clean out the filter and feed the fish." And there's no direction whatsoever. No. Like you just got to click everything, and eventually he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna feed this fish," and he feeds the fish, and then he's like, "There's no food in the tube. I should probably ask this guy." And then you just gotta wander. And then also the filter job, like again, you're wandering, and I just wandered into a real random room, and it had a computer, and then it just had symbols.
Yep.
It just had symbols, and
no indication.
And also, you can't back out of that menu once you're in it. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm here.
What do I do
to figure it out? And eventually, I clicked on the right thing, and then it said like it just all of a sudden you popped out of the menu, and then your little checklist of change the filter gets like marked off, and I'm like, oh, and then I walk out, and there's a little sign that says like filter room, and I'm like, oh,
I guess I did the thing.
I did the thing without realizing it.
Did you end up getting to the puzzle with the screwdriver?
Yes. Yes. I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
How funny was that?
I
was
really...
Like, this
I
panel,
love everything
Alec,
about this game.
this panel
puzzle
is like, all right, just use a screwdriver to get the panel off. But there's no rhyme or reason. It's just random screws everywhere on the board.
Man.
So you start going at it, and you see parts like start to fall off, even like behind the panel that you're unscrewing. And then at one point, your character just like hits the screwdriver against metal and shocks himself. And the guy in the room's like, "Oh, got you good." And it's
Monster.
It's a dick move.
Yeah, it's a real
It's
mean
such a
move.
dick move. Oh, but that puzzle was my favorite out of everything that I encountered. Some of it was like gopher quests, just running around.
Yeah, and I think that I really like a lot of what Harold Halibut brings to the table. It is gorgeous. It really is just like a really good looking game.
Yep.
But at the same time, I also am like, these puzzles are rough
Mean.
stuff. Like, give me some of these games. What they used to do is they would give you like a highlight of everything that's interactable.
Yep.
And I think that would be beneficial, or at least like some sort of like, go to the filter room, just like an extra, just one, like a half sentence, just a half sentence to point it out where I'm going. But everything else I thought was good. I thought the characterization was fun. There is some dark tones, and then also some good solid comedy in between.
I would love it if, as a general rule, these kind of games or point-and-click adventure games, if there be just an option to say, highlight every interactable.
Yeah, that's
Just give me that. That's enough.
And even like a lot of these games also come with like a hint system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that would be that's an accessibility thing.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's Harold.
That's Harold Halibut.
That's Harold Halibut.
Wish listed.
I shudder to think how big the final product will be. This was like an hour and a half demo,
Yeah.
and it was 60 gigabytes.
60 gigs,
so
yeah.
if
I don't know. Maybe they had you install the whole game and just partitioned off part of the game for the demo.
like
I will
jokes
say
on
that
this guy.
Once you finish the demo, they do give you a real sizable trailer that kind of just tells you everything that's gonna happen. So it's like not like for me, I was like, oh, well, I mean, I still want to play it, but I definitely kind of already know what's gonna happen.
It would have been nice to keep that a surprise.
Yeah, give it a little bit more suspense.
I think it's already pretty predictable. It doesn't seem like it's.
But they didn't need to give you that much more.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of good in there. I think it'd still be fun. Again, worried about how massive it'll be at the end of the day, but. Whew.
So
Harold
are we
was,
thinking it's going
was
to be
fun.
bigger or smaller than Baldur's Gate 3?
At this rate, bigger.
Bigger. Yeah.
Much bigger. That claymation doesn't come cheap, if you know what I mean.
No, I imagine you can't compress it and reuse assets.
Those assets don't quit.
We're just going to let him do that. And then he's going to... Okay, fine. I want the record to show.
He's just taking advantage of the moment, Daddy. I don't know what to say.
Want the record to show that I stood up for myself. The rest of y'all, fine.
You watched it all happen. You all watched it happen.
You know what else we watched happen? Alex sneaks a game into the demos here this week. You didn't? You weren't the one behind Helskate?
Oh, I was Helskate.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I didn't do the one that didn't have English.
It had English. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mine wasn't in English.
Mine was not in English.
What game did you guys play?
Was that a menu option we were supposed to click?
Yeah.
I
Didn't
just
give
went
me an
in.
option for it. All right. Well,
Did you put in a link? You put in a link,
Yeah.
the link that I used
which is the link that
was
we all
not in
use.
English. All right. So anyway, Helskate was a game that we played. Imagine, if you will, a rogue game, and you are skateboarding. I don't know what else to say.
It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but then
Like-
you're fighting demons.
Yeah, you're fighting demons and you're collecting clothing, which upgrades your abilities, and then you can get stickers for your board, which further enhance said abilities. And you can go... It has that same system that was popularized in Hades, where it allows you to choose between a couple of different rooms to customize the reward that you'll get.
If you want money, or if you want like a stat point or something like that.
Matt's health increase.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better skateboards. No,
Gear.
no. Shh.
Lightning attacks when you land on a trick. Stuff like that.
I had it where the enemies, once I killed one, they would explode with poisonous gas to all enemies around them.
That was a good
Housing
one.
gas.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
solid.
So, Alex,
Yeah.
Helskate.
There are a number of Tony Hawk style games coming out, and this is one of them. And it was interesting. It was interesting. It definitely did a couple of things that were pretty fun. I definitely got stuck in some of the tutorial stuff because it did not want to register the grab I was doing. But everything else was pretty fun. I feel like some of the attacks were a little rough because they had pretty heavy cooldowns. I wish that I had more attacks than just kind of the one. Was there more than the one?
There were two. There was
I
a
didn't
light
do the
attack and a heavy
tutorial.
attack.
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't do
must
the
have missed
tutorial
it.
either. I just jumped right into the game and I was like, here we go.
Yep.
I couldn't find the second attack. But that's on me.
I think it was just R2.
That was the spin attack, right?
That was a spin attack.
That was
The other one,
attack.
yeah,
What was the first one?
R1 was just a light attack.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
maybe I
R2 was the big spin attack.
I wasn't seeing any R1 action.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I gotta get some
Do
R1
we need to-
action.
Should I talk to Beth this weekend?
Gotta get some R1 action.
Should I just hand her a remote and be like, here, cup the R1.
It's the only way
Be gentle with it.
It's the only way I can grind.
Is with R1, right?
Oh,
I
Actually,
thought-
it's triangle.
Yeah,
Actually,
it
it's
was Y.
triangle.
What?
It was Y.
It was Y.
Oh, was it?
Grinding
It's
is Y.
attacks.
Quite a Y is grind. I'm out here grinding.
You're just pounding on your grind button?
dedicated grind button.
I don't
Dedicated
do
grind
anything. I don't do any pounding, Getty.
button. Sure, yeah.
It's all delicate.
Nope. That's not what I heard.
You gotta finesse it. I do nothing roughly.
Yeah, all right. Are you talking about skateboarding still? Or
Yes.
are we talking about
It's
your
all
ability to
style.
play video games?
What's next, Getty?
We're done with Helskate?
It was good.
That's it?
I'm still more excited for the Devolver one that's coming out.
And what's
What's
that
that?
called?
Let me see. I'm gonna hit the Google machine.
No. All right. I'm moving it along. If Alex is using Google, we got to
It's
get
called
out of
Skate Story. Skate Story.
There we go.
That's not creative.
Also, there's the one that was the Demon on a Bike game. That was pretty good too.
Oh, that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That was entertaining.
Yep.
Demon on a Bike. Last one that we played. Apparently, we all played the non-English version, and Alec played the English version. Aeruta. A-E-R-U-T-A. I'm going to call it Aeruta.
That's what I would call it.
Maybe this
All
is
right,
like
Alec.
a Linux thing.
So you played the English version, so you know what's going on, so you get to explain this game.
So it's a side-scrolling action game. You're a adventurer 2B. You've just graduated kind of adventuring school, and they sent you on a quest. And you after going through the tutorial levels, you come to a town that is deserted, and you go to the bakery because that seems to be the only source of, well, people. And as soon as you get to it, the oven explodes. And of course, the bakery owner blames you since you're the only person there.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Not the evil spirit cloud that followed you into the bakery?
Right, not the evil spirit cloud. And decides that you are now her employee and sends you on quests to get gold and things to repair the bakery that you have destroyed. And then in addition to that, you have to start running the bakery, restocking the bread, helping check out customers. And yeah.
See, now the way that you described it makes a lot more sense than when I played it.
Yep.
When I couldn't read anything. So what I had built in my mind was, hey, I'm going out and I'm getting supplies so that I can cook. It's kind of the same thing.
Kind of.
But it was really fun though. The 2D kind of action dodge. You got a whip.
Yeah. You start off with a whip. There are other weapons later on, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Very like a little bit of Castlevania, but like more of like a fast-paced kind of Castlevania.
Yeah.
And
This also had rogue elements to it.
Yep.
Like if you die or if you fail, then you just come back the next day and do it all again.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was... I ran out of time, I guess, or got exhausted while out adventuring, and it was just like, you're done adventuring for the day. Go back and come back tomorrow.
Oh, so it's like almost like a stamina system.
Yeah. I was gonna die, so I was glad that the day ended when it did.
Very cool.
I don't like being told when to go to bed.
Or
just
do
gonna
you
say
like
that.
it a whole lot? Or do you
No,
like it
no,
a whole
no.
lot?
I still have flashbacks of the original Persona 5 being told to go to bed. Hey, cat,
Morgan's just
don't
looking out
tell
for
me
you.
to go to bed.
Just looking out for your well-being. Probably
No.
gonna tell you to drink plenty of water too.
Nope. That cat doesn't drink water.
Drinks coffee.
Yeah.
Probably.
drinks coffee and eats curry.
Smokes.
I don't know about
cigarettes.
you guys, but I'm drinking Poggers.
No,
What?
we're done with
This
that.
is a this is a
Drinkpoggers.com.
Pogger.
Drinkpoggers.com.
Poggers is
Are we
dead
done
to
with
me.
that?
Poggers is
Why?
Are they? Are they?
Yeah, Poggers.
What?
Whoa! Joel now has the. Oh, we heard that one. We heard that one,
What do I
right?
have to do?
You gotta play Lion King.
That again? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like there's a story that we're going to have to figure out later
Yeah,
on.
That's an after the break situation.
So, yeah, I guess I think we're going to have to take a little bit of break here. Let's go ahead and uninstall some of these games so we can get some hard drive space back. We will return shortly. Hey News, it's been a while since we mentioned D-Zack on the podcast. What do you think that guy's up to? Don't answer that question. Do not answer it. I want to drive him nuts.
Guys, on one episode, and all of a sudden we owe him royalties.
Yeah. Oh,
I hope he's keeping a tally, because I'm not.
he is. All right, we got news this week.
Also, shout out to Big Brother Phil. Every episode, he comments on something. Like he texts me and goes, "This part was pretty funny." Thank you,
I hope
Phil.
he's also like, yeah, you should kick this person off the podcast.
No,
Which
he has
one
not
is
said
it?
that.
Which one does he want us
Exactly.
off?
Probably Alex. It's like replace that loser with the superior brother.
That's how it works, honestly. That's how it works.
All right. We got so much news to talk about. I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll just start with whatever this is. PDP creating new wireless guitar controllers that work with Rock Band 4. And soon, Fortnite Festival. I forgot that Fortnite Festival was a thing, and now you're making me relive nightmares.
I'm not. I knew somebody that I was trying to do be the go-between, where somebody was asking, "Hey, can you get me Rock Band drums?" And I'm like, "Sure. Tell me how much you want to spend, and then I will try to get it for less, and then take the remaining cash." And the numbers are ridiculous. 400 at minimum.
What?
American?
Yes.
What would you be
Everywhere.
willing to pay?
The person I was with was trying to get it for like 200.
I may have a resource for that.
Let me know.
I might
We'll talk off
have
air.
Rock Band drums guy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, let me know. I'm not disinterested.
Okay.
Joel, clean up this Rock Band. It's in the living room.
No. I have too many cords everywhere as it is. I made the mistake of sending a picture of my TV to show something on my screen to somebody, and the first thing he did was comment about how bad my cord management was.
Yeah, that's kind of like a thing that you just have to like one day be like, well, I'm just gonna get a whole bunch of zip ties and Velcro.
That's it. It's
Let's
too much of
do
a
this.
project. It's like, that's my whole afternoon is organizing this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I have too much stuff.
It's a
Alternatively,
project, yeah.
you can threaten to strangle the person with those cords.
Boom. There's your answer.
Problem solved.
I don't need encouragement for that.
I don't know who that person is, but shout out to whoever Joel is thinking about murking. All right. Next piece of news. Celeste 64 celebrating its 6th anniversary.
Celeste is celebrating its 6th anniversary, so they released Celeste 64. 64 and like throwback games like this are all the rage right now. It's so hot right now.
Hot?
Hot.
Why are you saying it like that?
That was Zoolander. That was a Zoolander reference.
Okay.
Sweet.
But the idea of like making these 64 games is now a really big thing, and at the same time, they have also taken a handful of like Celeste levels, like they made them out of like the very like first couple levels, so they get that 2D platformer. You go through a couple levels, but they're made in 3D, so it's kind of cool.
All right. Burnout Revival possibly coming. Where in the rumor mill is this?
This is Joel's thing.
Oh, okay.
Did I? No, I don't.
Burnout?
I don't think that's my thing, but I don't think I wrote this down. The speculation is based off of some hirings, if I remember right, for the studio who is involved with Burnout. So the last thing they did, as far as I know, is Burnout Paradise. That was the open world Burnout. I'm a little more of a fan of the older one, which was a strict linear track. They also had some really cool like side modes where the whole point was to drive into intersections and cause as much carnage as possible.
Those were my favorite.
Crash
Everybody's.
I mean, the coolest thing about that series was always like the crash physics type stuff, and the great stuff about those mini games, it'd be like they were giving you points based off of like dollar value of the stuff you damaged. So it was just a fun convention to be able to do that, and it tickled a teenage me who loved to see stuff crash.
Yeah. Didn't we play a little bit of Burnout here? I think I did, at least.
Maybe Paradise.
A while ago.
Maybe.
I think Paradise. It was there. It was cheap.
We all played it. It was free.
It was available.
It was good.
Yeah. Next, this is a fun piece of news. Spec Ops: The Line to be delisted from every online store. Why? Licensing issue.
This is a follow-up to that. It was delisted off of Steam.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, turns out it's going to be everywhere.
Not everywhere.
I mean, where else is it other than Steam?
PlayStation.
It was?
Xbox.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, if you have a physical copy somewhere, maybe the physical copies will go up in value now.
Yeah, I have it digital on Steam.
Yeah, me too.
Does make me want to play it again, though.
I have not played that one, so I should probably get around to that.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of it until I heard it was going to be delisted.
That's one of those games that was really lauded for its time in how it portrayed its story, and I think it played a little bit with unreliable narrators a bit. Does that sound right? Yeah.
Yep.
So it was an early one of those, like...
Kitty, do you have it?
I do not.
I wonder if I can get it from a shady CD key site. Keep going. I'm going to start researching.
You better start looking now before those go up in price, too.
All right. Moving right along. There's a Sony State of Play this week?
What's that?
I don't know. I didn't get around to it. We were complaining about having to go back into the office, but I'm going to be back in the office for the next year, so... Oh, well.
All right, so
5 days a week.
The Sony State of Play happened. There's a couple of like halfway decent things in this.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah.
What are those things?
Yeah,
No, I want Alex to, because I honestly didn't get a chance to even look at it. So
Okay,
this is the Alex show.
Death Stranding 2 on the beach, as the rumored title came out and it was confirmed. The title is On the Beach, and it is bonkers, out of control.
How bonkers is it?
Cybernetic ninja assassin fighting an armored dude with an electric guitar, and I mean that in both that it makes sick riffs, but also shoots out electricity, and then turns into an axe. And let's see, they have a marionette that goes like 8 frames a second and talks to everybody. So that's like a thing now. We got Ellie Fanning. We got George Miller, director of Mad Max, in this game.
Oh, I like
Mad
that
Max
guy.
Fury Road. Yeah. So there's just a lot going on in this. It looks great. The new footage is like 9 minutes worth of footage from trailers and cutscenes and full actual exploration and gameplay. It looks good. It's interesting. It's gone just as wild as it was before, possibly even wilder.
Are you the only one here that's played that?
Yes.
Okay.
He is a veteran of it.
I'm going to play the second one day one.
He beat it 100%.
No.
Kojima super fan.
No. I don't know. I feel like he definitely did.
Speaking of Kojima.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. So he's making an interactive game movie with Columbia and Sony Pictures titled Physicist?
Fizzant.
Physicist?
Fizzant. And it goes back to his espionage action phase. But it's like weirder that he's like, it's going to be an interactive game. And it's like, well, sure.
What does that make normal games?
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, he goes, also, it's going to be through Columbia Pictures. And then they like pan out and he's at the Columbia Movie Picture Studios in LA with a Sony exec. And it's like, I don't know what a lot of this means, but it is the third game in his studio's like pocket right now. He's got Death Stranding 2. There was another one that we saw footage on, and then now this Fizzant, which he just said, oh yeah, that's a thing that I'm working on. What is it? I just described it. Any other info? Nah.
Pheasant?
Pheasant.
I'm
getting real Kojima fatigued.
I'm not.
Like
I'm not.
There's not the game so much, but I see him everywhere when it comes to gaming stuff. Between Keeley sort of shoving him down people's throat and all this weird that he keeps on cropping up with. It's, yeah. I'm getting oversaturated. It's like with Chris Pratt. It's like the video game Chris Pratt thing. It's
he disappeared for a while, and then now he's everywhere.
Yes.
You can't throw a rock without hitting him.
No, you're not, Joel. You're absolutely not wrong. You're not wrong.
Does that mean he's right?
Not willing to admit that.
No, he's not going to say that.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah.
We have Stellar Blade, which looks like a Korean-made Nier Automata, which very cool. We got the as rumored Sonic Generations remake, where they now added Shadow the Hedgehog for no reason.
Really?
There isn't.
Is
a
it
reason.
no reason, or is it to get people to buy it again?
Maybe, but it just doesn't make sense. The idea is that you're playing old Sonic levels and new Sonic levels. Like you're mixing 2D Sonic with 3D Sonic. Shadow has nothing to do with any of this.
You're just worried about cutting yourself on that edge.
Yeah. You could be playing this and you could be happy.
It's funnier that people were all about Pal World because it was little fuzzy creatures with guns, and we had Shadow here all along. We got Zenless Zone Zero, which I've been waiting for. Just it's the next one of those because it's the people who did Star Rail, Honkai Star Rail, and those free to play kind of MMO games. Zenless Zone Zero. This is super stylistic. Everyone is wearing like 7 buckles.
Only 7?
They all look like they're taggers. And it's just a real cool style. So,
for those of us that aren't hip on the street lingo, when you say tagger, you mean graffiti tagger?
Yes. What is that? What are the other taggers?
Grocery taggers.
Just straight up somebody that runs up to you and hits you and says, "Tag, you're it."
I don't know about
both
that.
Of those,
that doesn't sound.
Both
familiar.
those things. Both things don't sound really like I've never heard of a grocery tagger.
Really? They're the one that go around and put the little price tags on stuff.
I just call that a grocery store worker.
Oh, that seems
Just because you don't know
like
the name
you're
for it doesn't mean
minimalizing
it
their
doesn't
job.
exist. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
kind of demean.
What do we call you?
It's not
What
a
do we
job
call you?
title.
You don't
It's
seem
not a job
very
title.
labor friendly, Alex. I'm a little
It's-
offended.
What are you, a desk jockey?
It's actually the opposite because it feels like their job is more multifaceted than just tagging. They have more than one responsibility,
Yeah.
Joel.
Maybe they
Yeah, but
tag
you
it
know what?
and bag it, Alex.
Maybe that makes them feel more distinguished title than just grocery store worker.
If you are a quote-unquote grocery tagger, please email us at mail@superggradio.com and share your story and opinion on whether you like to be called an actual grocery store employee.
No, let me get you Alex's his
tagger.
real phone number so you can call him and talk to him about it.
Mail at
So that's gonna be-
superggradio.com.
Fine.
I'm saying is that
You got
I'm in
two
the
more.
right
You got two more.
in giving
You
the
got two more.
the title feels
more.
more respectful.
2 more. Do it.
Next piece of news. Ken Levine's newest small-time indie studio has created Judas. Looks a lot like BioShock.
Okay.
I'm good. Thanks.
I'm into it. I like BioShock. Next, Until Dawn re-release for PS5 and PC. I don't
How
know if
much
that's-
gameplay trailer was there? Anything? Or was it just like a teaser?
There was some gameplay, but it didn't look
Same
like it
characters?
it didn't look like it got a whole lot of touch up.
So same characters?
Yeah.
Nobody new? Nobody ageified a little bit?
This time you can
No.
play the one to Joe.
Hey. No spoilers.
Shit, sorry guys.
That's two.
He's on
That's
a roll
two.
tonight.
That's two. That's two separate streams. I didn't make the rules.
I mean,
We
Alex
did
is
make the
trying to
rules.
kneecap you here so
We also made the rules.
yeah.
I
he's trying
gotta
to
keep
make sure
going.
that
This
you can't catch up to him. New Sony PlayStation handheld in early development with AMD. Hey, this would be kind of neat if I could take my PlayStation games on the go, like I can with my Steam games. That Steam Deck is real convenient.
Yeah. There is no word on whether this actually will move forward. It's just that they're now starting to build prototypes and trying to figure out what it would be.
Can you imagine every time I physically have to go hang out with Alex, I could be playing games.
You don't actually do that, Getty. You just send me weird text messages and then don't answer anymore.
Usually because I'm working.
No,
You can't
it
call
was
me
a
at,
it
you
was
can't call
a
me at
Saturday.
3:30 on a Thursday and expect me to pick up.
No, what was
in
it?
the
What
office.
did you text me? It was Saturday, and then you texted me the lyrics to what was it?
What did I do?
Oh, Jason Derulo Wiggle. I was like, "Hey, Getty, it's Saturday. You want to hang out and do something?" And then you sent me the video for Jason Derulo's Wiggle, and then texted me lyrics, and then refused to respond after that.
Yeah, that tracks.
That's the extent of the conversation. I'm like, "Hey, Getty, you want to hang out?"
Hey, we'll
Second
hang out
never
this
respond.
weekend. How's that sound?
Not the same. Next.
I don't know. Next, new Devolver sniper game, Children of the Sun.
This got announced this morning. It looks to be a little bit like Sniper Elite, where you're setting up very elaborate shots and then shooting, and the camera follows the bullet. What seems like the key here is that it's more like a gothic thing. It's a cult, and you're trying to stop the cult. And once your bullet hits its target, you can then pick a secondary target for the bullet to go to next. And after you've killed everybody, it shows like a ricochet path of the bullet.
There's a demo.
Yes, that also just came out.
Oh, I guess.
And
I
it's
know what
only
we're playing next week.
1.25 gigs, not 50.
Oh, that saves some hard drive space.
There was a couple of demos that came out this week, so that's I think going to be for next week.
He thinks. We're not going to allow it.
Good.
Because
Next.
Alex is going to be too busy playing Grand
Rock.
Blue Fantasy. What is this? Relink?
I actually that supposedly got really good reviews.
Of course it did. Because you're going to play it day one.
Nope.
Yep. Alex Day One Arona.
Don't finish that title. What's next?
Deep Rock Galactic Survivor launches on February 14th. Okay.
Alec, which one is this?
This is the Vampire Survivor clone.
Okay, we did not do a beta breakdown on this one, or is this the one we did?
This is the one we did.
All right, so there is a beta breakdown on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SuperGGRadio.
The one we didn't that's also in development is Rogue Core.
Still expect you to reach out to them and ask for access.
Gimme.
Gimme.
Next? Well, you know we got freebies.
Freebies!
Let's do freebies.
Freebies!
By the way,
You ready
Joel,
for freebies?
There was like a 30-second gap or a 15-second gap after freebies last time.
I just noticed that. I was listening to it. I was doing a spot check earlier. It's like, wait, there's 30 seconds of silence, and then you start talking, and then the freebie jingle goes in over on top of it.
Yeah,
Nice.
Phil told me. He came to my office and he's like, "Hey, you know, there's a big gap, right?" And I'm like, "I did not realize that. I'll tell Joel." Okay.
I have to take 1 week off, and this is what happens.
Thank you, Phil.
Goodness gracious. All right, freebies. First up, Doors Paradox over on the Epic Games Store.
Doors Paradox is a single-serving puzzle game where you will have a door in front of you with all these different mechanics all around it, and you have to click and change and adjust and solve the puzzle to open the door. There are roughly, 90 puzzles?
That seems like too many.
I thought it was like 30 per world. Maybe it's 20 per world?
I feel like 90 is too many.
So it's not 30 per world, it's like 20 per world? Something like that.
I think it was closer
And
to
there-
20.
And there are 30 worlds. Or 3 worlds.
What?
There are 3 worlds.
This game is massive. How did this happen?
Doors Paradox. It's very good. It's very good.
All right. Celeste 64 over on itch.io.
This is the 6-year anniversary of Celeste, and in doing so, they have remade some of the first couple levels in a Mario 64 style gameplay. Now in itch.io.
All right. Planet S over on Steam.
Planet S is a real-time strategy game where your goal is to colonize multiple planets in a solar system to advance your civilization. Build a city and supply it to grow your factions. Then travel the stars and get more and more planets as you conquer the galaxy.
Whose civilization?
Not
Humans?
mine. Not yours.
Are you exposing
Probably-
me for the robot that I am?
It's probably Joel's,
Yeah.
to be fair.
You're lucky I wasn't
American.
paying attention to that. Otherwise, I might be offended.
You should be. You should always be offended.
That's not the case at all.
America. All right. Last one. Aviators over on Steam.
Aviators, a short educational adventure game about Polish air personnel during World War II. A 3D FPP, first-person perspective game with elements of shooting, exploration, and logical puzzles. That feels like this might not be the person's English is not maybe their first language. Came out this year. So that's kind of cool, and it has you being a aviator and co-pilot during World War II. So very cool. It actually is really graphically beautiful, very realistic graphics. I kind of am curious how far it goes because it sees you out of the plane, but I think that's probably just performing normal everyday tasks before you get into the plane and start gunning people down and doing crazy flips. I don't know. It looks pretty good, though.
Okay. Those are the freebies. Let's, take a quick break here. Refocus. Maybe call Dzak. Nah, we're not going to call. See you on the other side. And we're back. Back with the Backlog Blog where we play games. Well, I play games for the street cred. Hey guys, let me tell you that I finished Baldurs Gate 3.
Hold on, don't tell me about the street cred. I played Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Who has more street cred than that?
I played Shaq Fu.
Michael Jackson
Get
has the street
Shaq
cred.
Fu.
You don't get the street cred.
I fought a ponytailed Joe Pesci.
And who won?
I did. Turned into a giant mech because I met Bubbles. Either way. Also, Shaq Fu is really cool. Tell us about Baldur's Gate.
It's pretty easy to win that game if you have infinite continues.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, snap.
That's fine.
That's just a fact.
Yeah, no one's arguing with you. Getty, how's Baldur's Gate?
I will tell you that it was a whole experience.
Uh-huh.
I played it for many hours. How many hours specifically?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check. Hold on. I'm
That's
on
not-
here.
You set up your own question and then wasn't prepared to answer
Yeah.
your own question.
Of course not.
You're answering yourself.
I'm sitting here. I'm having a great time. Oh
How many
God.
Monacos are you deep?
Zero. Came in around 70 hours.
Nice.
Did not
And-
by any means finish everything. Didn't save as many people as I would have liked, but
Did you ready re-roll?
no, I did not.
Oh.
I needed the hard drive space, so I deleted it. But I'll probably come back to it at some point. It did not really try and... okay, so I was initially concerned that as I got into the third act that it was going to really make me follow a specific path. No, it was still like all loosey-goosey all over the place. Still way too much to do. I ended up being concerned as well that I would not be able to get as many long rests in. I thought that it would just be like, oh, you only have 3 days to save the world here. Nah, just take your time. Do what you want. Like, there's no rush. And it really gets you into this Mass Effect 3 mentality. By the time you hit that final act, it's like, all right, you got to try and get as many allies as possible for the final battle. And boy, let me tell you, you need those allies. It takes the form of a gauntlet where you're just going from area to area trying to take out as many enemies as possible while trying to get to the final boss. All the while, you can use one of your character's actions to summon some of the allies that you were able to obtain through the course of it. So you have your regular party, but you can use one of these actions and then maybe get a couple of extra characters to come and fight at your side, or get a extra boost of healing, something to offset the ridiculousness of that last fight. Ridiculous.
Did you try to dominate the brain?
It makes you.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. It just gives you the option that you have to try to. And ultimately, unless you roll a natural 20...
As long as consent is
fail.
involved, you guys can do whatever you want.
No, there's no consent. There was no consent at the beginning of the game when you get a little, worm put in your eye that tries to turn you into a mind flayer.
That's how you get canceled, Joel.
By being turned into a mind flayer?
Kind of.
What's a mind flayer?
They eat
If you
your
have to
brains.
ask,
He's
you
got
can't
little,
afford it.
he's got little tentacles on his chin.
No.
Think Cthulhu. Just a Cthulhu.
Okay.
How's that sound?
I can visualize
Cthulhu,
that. That's fine.
We're in Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, they are. He doesn't remember that.
I played like a level
He's-
of that game. I was very bad at it.
He blocked out the memories.
The game's so good.
No, there's so much to do. You could easily go back, play it 2-3 times. There's stuff that I didn't even touch. There's branching paths. There's just way too much. I can't tell you how much there is. One day, Alec will play this game.
Yep.
When is that day?
That's
I don't know. I don't want to tell you to purchase it so that we can all play it together. I am not Alex.
That would be
However,
wild.
I know that it is possible to do it.
You wouldn't.
What did you play it on?
The PlayStation 5.
Okay.
That's your problem right there.
That's my problem.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
But
But
also, you wouldn't play it with friends.
I wouldn't play it with you.
You would need,
I have this
you would need friends.
growing concern that if we did play it, you would be like, hey guys, check this out. And you would just go into a room, get murdered, or just walk away from the party while we're all being assailed. And then you'd be like, oh, I thought we were playing over here. No?
That's just called role playing. And if you don't like my role playing style, you just don't like my character.
What's your character? Have you already thought of your Baldur's Gate 3 character?
I've just would have used one of the many D&D characters that I've already created and played with.
I still don't understand why you were having a charisma as a rogue and you weren't going swashbuckler and your dex was not high.
Because I'm a
Alex?
badass, that's why.
Because of role-playing.
It's a role playing. That's how it works. And not everything has to be min-maxed, guys. There's a love of the craft.
This feels a little high-minded for me.
It's just nerds arguing. I'm going to leave it at that.
Super GG Radio. Just nerds arguing.
Yep. Super GG Radio, please tell your friends.
That we're just nerds arguing.
Just nerds arguing. I guess that's the episode title now, isn't it?
Yep.
I feel dirty. So Alex played arcade games. I'm just
Not just me.
All right.
Joel also played arcade games.
He made you play arcade games?
I played arcade game.
Singular?
Yeah. So
What'd you play, Joel?
so I picked up one of these nondescript Game Boy-ish adjacent kind of things online.
No, they have a name. What is that one?
R34, I think. It sounds like a model name more than an actual name. It's like R34.
No, hold on.
I'm pretty sure you don't want to Google Rule 34.
Oh
No,
boy.
you don't.
I was not going to that direction, but now I'm concerned. What is
I'm trying to find the name now because I was looking at an amber name.
R36S is the
Ooh.
model number of it.
Even fancier.
A whole 2 numbers higher. Yeah. So like it's an emulation box, right? And it's got some of the expected systems. Weirdly, it's got Dreamcast, which you can't run that great as far as I can tell. But it's one of those things that's supposed to be something open that you just put what you want in and see if it runs. I did not expect a pile of arcade games to be part of it. There's a MAME section that you can play some of the stuff that you loaded. And I ran across the Punisher. The Punisher arcade game.
Classic.
I have a little bit of memory. There used to be a bowling arcade entertainment center area in our area, and my brother would go bowling sometimes with his friends and drag me along because I was the younger brother that he couldn't get rid of. And there was an arcade with this game, and I fell in love with it the second I got it because it's chaos. You are the Punisher. You are just beating up everybody. You have guns that you're shooting people with. It's just wild, and it's just non-stop action. There's very little downtime. I don't have affinity for the character. All I know him by is mostly just cops putting Punisher stickers on their window or something like that.
Mamma mia.
But
do you need us to explain who the Punisher is?
he's a guy.
He's Frank Castle.
He's Frank Castle.
Castle.
His family was
killed by John
mobsters.
Travolta. By John
that too.
Travolta.
Him and his sidekick Rook, they're going and just taking out the Kingpin, which is a very, very, very large, bald man.
Yep.
It is
Currently the villain of the Daredevil and all those shows.
I mean,
the Marvel show Hawkeye.
Hawk Guy. It's called
Guy.
Hawk Guy.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
All right.
I did.
Vincent D'Onofrio
Is the
is
Kingpin.
Okay.
He's isn't he the water guy from Men in Black?
The water guy.
No, he was
Sugar
the
water.
cockroach.
That guy who's
Who was that?
guy
that
who's
was Vincent-
possessed
that
by a
was-
bug. Is that who you're talking
Yeah.
The water guy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, what is Kingpin's deal? Is he just a huge guy who's a mob
is.
boss?
He's just a huge guy. Yeah.
It is Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah, he's also said to be like really strong. Like a lot of that is supposedly muscle, not like fat. And then in the Daredevil Marvel show, they said that like also his suit is like armored, bulletproof, which isn't like necessarily the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just a big muscular dude who at one point was mayor of New York in the Marvel comics.
Huh. I did see it.
He's just a big dude that likes hanging out with other dudes to commit
Yep.
crimes.
Yep. What was his gang called? I can't remember.
I mean, what?
His henchmen group.
In Hawk Guy? Like the
There's-
red tracksuit gang?
There was the tracksuit mafia, but no, I thought they were called the Pagli something, Pagliassos or something.
Maybe. I know what's the other crime family? The Maggios or something like that?
Yeah, that's who it was. I was thinking. Yeah. It was no, yeah, and that was Vincent D'Onofrio from Men in Black, the sugar water guy.
But yeah,
Either
good
way,
game.
So did
A
you?
lot of fun.
Yeah, and the other character is Nick
Fury, isn't it?
Nick
Yeah.
Fury.
Yeah. So for those who aren't comic book experienced, Nick Fury was not a Samuel L. Jackson type back then. He was he had to be modeled off after somebody, right? Like he.
It was Hasselhoff.
Okay. All right. So.
Yep.
You'd be surprised how often they will interview comic book artists and they'll say like, who was when you drew this character, who was he? And they all have like, oh, this was like like a famous celebrity. This was Clark Gable or something like that. Like
Right.
there was a comic run where Iron Man was Brad Pitt or something to that effect, or Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
They generally just kind of like model them however they want. So, but in that case, yeah, he was always Haslin the Hoff.
Okay. All right.
Bigger in Germany. I mean,
Got it. Yep.
yep.
But yeah, I don't have much else to say. It's a pretty straightforward game. It's just kind of bombastic and wild compared to a lot of other beat 'em ups. Not many beat 'em ups I played where you're gunning down enemies. So it was it's an interesting facet and probably wasn't appropriate for me to play when I was 10 years old.
Nope.
And yet, here we are,
It explains so much.
reliving the memories. And they said GTA was going to ruin me. Little did they know, The Punisher. That's what did it.
And then I went to Galloping Ghost for a birthday party, where I played I played a lot of arcade games. I always got to play Primal Rage 2. I always got to play Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Nope.
I got to play Gem Fighter and
Gem Fighter.
Puzzle Fighter. But in this case, one of my friends, Andy, who's just like kind of a prolific. I have a friend named Andy who this is like just a little short story. He's just an everyman that kind of just appears and reappears into the mist. I've seen all of a sudden that he is in like, someone offered to give him a free car in California, so he drove all the way to California to pick up said car and then drive it back. And then the whole way just turned it into a taxi cab and then just took fares the entire way. And then all of a sudden I'll look on Instagram and he's playing No Diggity at a punk rock bar, and in someone else's Instagram, someone I don't like a random person's Instagram like came up and I'm like, oh, I know that person from skateboarding, and then I look and then there's my friend Andy playing No Diggity on the piano and I'm like, that's weird. Like he just appears in different places. One of our friends from high school, he came back into town to visit, and Andy was just there, and he's like, oh yeah, I met this guy too, and I'm like, you didn't, you shouldn't know my friend from high school, but you just are here now. It just different stuff like that. This guy Andy keeps showing up, and he just randomly he was at this party with me, and he just all of a sudden was like, "Hey, you know Moonwalker, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, I know Moonwalker." He's like, "We're gonna play Moonwalker," and we just sat there and played the entire thing based off of the Michael Jackson film. Moonwalker, with a lot of really licensed, like there was just directly sound like just minus the lyrics, like such a good chiptune version of Beat It, or Smooth Criminal, and it just starts with him walking into a bar and a bunch of bad guys look at him and he just goes dink and flicks the coin slowly across the air into the jukebox, and then from there you're just beating up thugs and occasionally get a superpower to make everybody dance.
Yep.
Hey, that's the best superpower.
And you turn into a robot sometime, right?
Yeah, you see Bubbles the monkey, and he will let you turn into a mech.
Yep.
That shoots rockets and guns at Joe Pesci with very tiny sunglasses and a ponytail, while he's kidnapping orphans and homeless kids. It's a weird thing. It also
Guys,
made me rewatch clips of the movie, and I don't know if you've seen that, but that movie's kind of frightening.
It's real weird. It's really weird.
The signs were there. This was definitely a weird movie. An even weirder game.
I remember being freaked out when he turns into a giant mech, because it's just all sorts of body horror, like CGI, pre-CGI.
Animorphs type stuff.
Yeah, his face kind of melts and like his pupils disappear, and then his chest becomes like a chest plate that opens up, and then just rockets are there. And then it's not like, again, like pieces of his arms pop off to make more guns, and it's not like it's like it's kind of like a weird kid thing. It's like, no, they're guns, and he murders a lot. So it's just, I remember thinking like, this is horrifying. This is, his face should not be doing whatever it's doing. And yeah.
All the signs were there.
And the game is very heavily like directed by Michael Jackson and written by Michael Jackson and created by Michael Jackson. It's like, oh man, he was known to like video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was presumably involved in Sonic 3, some of the music on that soundtrack.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's why we can never go back to Sonic 3.
Sonic 3's been canceled.
Exactly. Overall, I was very happy to relive this one with all the cutscenes taken directly from the movie and everything like that. The other one was Ghostbusters, which had a mechanic of like you shoot bullets, but then you also can shoot your beam, and you would kind of differentiate between them, and a little gauntlet style, just like going through a bunch of levels, and that was pretty fun.
Was Walter Peck there?
No, this one did not have cool cutscenes with Walter Peck. But overall, there were some good arcade games in the old Galloping Ghost.
The old Galloping Ghost, as opposed to the new one.
I mean, there is that pinball section I've never been to.
Yeah, neither have I. But not great at pinball, so. Oh well. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Should we do the thing?
We should do this.
All right. Let's move over to our one last thing. And this week's one last thing is brought to you by poor timing. A 5-hour gap to get dinner? I hope you have something else planned, Alex.
Yeah, hanging out and talking with my friends.
Nope. Nobody wants to do that. That's why we're planning an escape room.
This weekend we're all getting together and we're going to go see the Near concert over in Chicago, my neck of the woods.
I believe it's technically Rosemont.
It's 1 block away from Chicago.
1 block away from Chicago. Doesn't have the same zip code.
It might. I'll have to look.
No, it doesn't. It is Rosemont.
Okay.
So you have to pay Chicago
All
city
right.
taxes in Rosemont.
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
You have to pay the fun tax.
Okay.
The airport tax.
Got it.
Yep.
It's even worse than the Chicago tax.
Yep.
All right. So I guess it's my one last thing. I am really trying, guys. I'm really trying to make it through Tales of Arise, but good God. The cutscenes. I
colors
can't.
do. The colors.
I was like, all right, I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to try and power through it. 1 hour, 2 hours, 4. I spent 4 hours just going through cutscenes, and I had 2 fights during those. I'm not even 40. I'm 40% done with the game. If I extrapolate that, this game is even more ridiculous than I had signed up for. Whatever. I blame Alex. It's a pretty good game.
You're going to complete it, aren't you?
Yeah, he is.
I'm really going to try, but it's just so brutal right now. Yep. I want a good balance of combat and then maybe a little bit of exposition, but I kid you not.
Nope.
Every single time you change screens, it's a cutscene. You walk 5 feet, it's a cutscene.
And I've been playing it in 30-minute chunks, and I'm not getting a whole lot of gameplay. That's real. I mean, I like the characters and I like the story, and then every time I'm like, I can go for 30 minutes of story right now.
You haven't even unlocked half of the systems where you're at, and you're
sure.
20 hours in?
No, I'm not that long. I'm barely.
He's
10.
20 hours. He doesn't realize it yet.
Barely 10.
His cutscenes are 10 hours of it. All right, Alex, what do you got?
Excited for the Nier concert, but I want to get back into PAL World, but I just have a lot on my plate right now with Dishonored and Last of Us 2, and then I'm also supposed to pick up Persona 3 Reloaded tomorrow. So
Day one.
So I'm excited. I've actually been spending some good amount of time in all of these games. So Dishonored, Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
so very excited.
You got to finish Persona so that you can day one Final Fantasy.
You make it sound so dirty.
Day one. Joel.
I like how you say it like that. Say it slow, Getty.
I will not.
Thank you. So, leading up to this weekend, I actually did start another run of Nier Automata. I am about 90% done with playthrough 1. That game is still as great as it's always been. The graphics are a little dated. They were kind of dated when they first came out, even. But that combat, I like you can be not very good at that style of gameplay, and you can still be very effective. Like the dodge button, the R2. She'll sort of flash while she's dodging, but it's such a big window that you can basically just keep hitting the dodge button if you see an attack rolling up, and it's going to cover you. So it is a nice forgiving game in that way, as long as you know how to lock on to people.
I'm surprised you didn't go back and try to do Nier. Did you finished run 1 of Nier?
Yeah, and I traded it in.
Okay, see, for me, I still have it because I want to go back and finish Run 2. And
I liked the idea of it, but I knew better. I wasn't actually going
to
do it. So.
For me, it's just it is a little bit of the same of Nier Automata, where I'm like, I gotta see what that is.
Yeah, I guess it just didn't grab me that way. I don't know. It's a tough follow up. Going back to that, Automata is clearly the better game out of the two, and they did some great things with the original Nier in the new version of it. That I know they got it closer to Automata style of gameplay, but the story didn't grab me on that one so much. There weren't so many open questions. They closed the loop in a way in that first run that feels conclusive.
See, I thought that I didn't think they closed the loop. But at the same time, they didn't have as many haunting visual and audio styles even that early on that fighting in the carnival.
Yep.
That is iconic, and you're not gonna get that from Nier.
And there's a lot of ideas that are played around in Automata too, just like the whole thing where all these different robots are detaching and then making their own facsimile of human civilizations, but also kind of failing miserably at them, and it causes all these individual encampments to kind of crumble and fall apart.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the problem, is that Nier, that stuff is there. It's just not until because at the end of Nier 1, Yes, Getty.
Hey, this was supposed to be one last thing,
It was.
and it turned into a whole
thing.
segment.
It was one thing.
No,
but-
you're
but,
good. Alex ran with it. Alex ran with it.
So
Let's
I just
pick
want to
this up.
say,
Let's pick this up after the concert because then we can talk about the concert
Okay.
and the significance
Yep.
of the games.
Yep.
Joel is playing Nier Automata. He's killing it,
Yes.
and he's going to have fun this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Alec,
Man, I got Pinewood Derby tomorrow. That is going to be 4 hours of unorganized chaos where I could be
Heck yeah, it
playing
is.
Dishonored instead.
oh, Steam Deck.
I
6-pack, and just watch the chaos.
If I wasn't a den leader, I would absolutely bring
Ah.
my Steam Deck.
Speaking of Den Leader, where's them cookies at?
The cookies will be there tomorrow.
Yeah, so bring them Saturday.
I will bring them Saturday.
How
looked it
many
up.
cookies will you
I-
eat?
I bought like $70 worth.
It's like what, 10 boxes?
It's a little more than.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we did it. Now we just have to hang out this weekend.
That's the worst part for Getty.
People.
Don't make me do stuff. All right.
That's how you get agoraphobic.
That's already happened. And that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on X, formerly Twitter, at Super GG Radio, and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays we usually have a podcast. Not this week. We got some other stuff that's definitely going on. Joel, are you going to be finishing up your disco dancing?
He's never finishing it.
Probably not.
Disco Elysium?
I was going to, but then not this week. Kind of like podcast recording this week on Twitch. Return on Monday. I'm going to
Alright,
get through
Monday.
this game because I want to move on to something else. I'm tired of this game.
Good. You deserve it. Nothing this Saturday. Monday, Joel will be playing. Tuesday, Alex is going to be playing Dishonored? Wednesday, you're going to be playing Dishonored.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. The something came up this week, but yeah, for the most part, I'm gonna be trying to hit up Dishonored, trying to finish that up.
And just screaming bad guy as you
That guy.
murder hobo. All right.
Doesn't count unless you do that.
And just as a kind reminder, you don't have to kill anyone in the game, but, do your thing.
It's more fun if you do.
Just throwing it out there. Going for that high chaos ending, huh?
I'm tired of that game making me feel bad for killing people.
You should.
That's why you gotta turn off your brain.
I just... I've been missing that one piece this whole time.
Stupid morality.
Morality.
Trying
Wheel
to
of
make me feel
morality.
bad.
Turn.
Bad guy.
Turn.
All right.
Yeah, it's very different to see it from this side because I did try to do the low chaos run when I first played it, and now I'm just like, nope. Check this out, blam.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll report back on Dishonored soon.
Soon. It's not a long.
Making eye contact. No, maybe not as soon as we would like, but okay.
It's not a long game.
Anyway, if you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address, a physical mail address, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.
Don't know if I'd want to try to afford a bigger house anyway. It's that, yeah. We don't need to belabor it. I've got.
You'll be kicking the kids out soon enough. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then I'll have an empty home, and then I'll realize I'm old, and it's sad. So that
Old, decrepit,
Thanks.
and they've got all this space and nothing to do with it.
Thanks, Daddy.
Why is this room filled with Nintendo?
This room
Joel,
is
move
filled
the
with my
Nintendo.
empty dreams. My life was a lie. Joel, I'd be more excited being like, man, there's going to be time for all the video games once these damn kids leave.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna use this room for VR." The
Yeah,
whole
you
room.
are.
I'll see
Yeah,
you
you
tomorrow, Kelly.
Yes.
Should I come and get you? Do you want dinner? No.
I live in VR now.
I'm eating virtual potatoes.
The only thing that she can hear on the other side of the wall is crying.
Just
Okay.
crying into your virtual
No.
potatoes.
No,
I wish this was in the track so we could actually put that as a title.